Hey fellas, Meat Trapper here. As you can see, the weather's getting hot, and that means one thing: it's time to go turtle trapping. So we're going to trap some snappers today. Now I've got my favorite turtle trap. This is my Quarrels turtle trap. It's a floating cage trap. I've done videos on it. I'll put a link up there to my full review. But I've had this trap for years, and this thing, it just plain works. It's simple and it works. And what more can you ask from a trap than that? So anyway, let's get on out here. There's a little swamp back here, and I've caught turtles out of here year after year, and it's always been a good spot for me. So let's go see what we can do. Okay, here we are, and you can see I've got a good spot. It's on a little creek. You can see behind me, you see all the lilies. That's going to provide the cover. You want to trap for turtles in water that looks like this, where there's some cover, there's some obvious cover. That's where they're going to hunt at night. Now if you had a big lake, you wouldn't want to just go out in the middle of the lake and drop the trap in. Now if you've got a lot of turtles, you will catch turtles that way, but your best chance is going to be something in an area like this. You can see this is a fairly narrow section of the creek, and it tends to get choked up with the lilies. So this is basically a channel or a funnel. It's going to funnel everything into a narrow area, and I've got good cover right there. So that's number one, is your location. And your location needs to have adequate cover where they're going to hunt. The next thing is your bait. Now on this Quarrels trap, you can see I've got a bait box here, and it just has a bungee cord that holds it shut. And you just put your bait down in there, and you throw the trap in the water, and you'll tie the cord off so it doesn't float away. Now as far as the bait goes, fresher is better. Anything like fresh fish, catfish heads. Today I'm using turkey scraps, turkey neck, and the liver and gizzards and all of that from the turkey I fried recently. The good thing is you can freeze your bait in a form that will fit down in your bait box, and then when you come out on a hot day like this, you just drop your frozen bait in, toss it in the water, and in the next 2 or 3 hours it's going to unthaw and start laying down your scent. And so when nighttime falls, it's going to be ready to go. So it's real quick, real convenient. You can make any kind of chum mix that you want. As long as it's a cylinder and it'll fit down in this box, you can freeze it. And so it's not messy at all to handle. So that's something to consider. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in. You're going to see just how easy this is. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a loop on the end of that cord, and so I'm going to stake it down just like I would a trap stake. Look there. A nice beaver stick. How about that? That's it. We'll come back tomorrow and see what we got. You can see there's some waves around that. I think there's something in this trap. Let's take a look and see. Yeah, there's something in there all right. Looks like we got us one. Yeah, he wants that. We'll go ahead and pull him in. It is starting to rain out here. You see the rain's just starting to come down. See, that's in perfect cover right there where they're hunting. A little narrow channel right there. Yeah, we got us a nice one there, nice snapper. Looking good. Now the first morning that I came and did a check, I didn't have anything. So I added a little bit to my bait. What you'll see in there is a sponge. See that yellow sponge? I added that, and then I soaked that sponge in tail oil, the beaver tail oil. And I'll put a link to my tail oil video where I take the beaver tail and render the oil out of it. And if you've ever done any summer beaver control, you'll know that snappers love beaver. They love the fur, they love the meat. And so I use that tail oil as an attractant. And that's an old trick of mine. Take a sponge, make sure it's down in the water, saturate that sponge with tail oil, and that'll put out an oil slick that'll attract them from a long way away. So anyway, let's get this back to the truck, get him on home, and what I will do is I will put him in a holding tank for a few days and let him clean out before I butcher him. So let's get on back. Okay, now that I've got the trap back in the truck, if you'll notice, since it's a circular trap, I don't want this trap rolling back and forth while I'm going down the road. So I'll put a tie rope on one end of the bed, thread it through the trap, tie it off on the other end. That's going to keep the trap from rolling back and forth in the truck. Now the next thing that's very important is you'll notice how I've tied the throat shut. Although these turtles have a hard time getting out of that throat when the trap is in the water and it's bobbing and shaking around. Once you get them on dry ground, they can come out of that throat like there's nothing there. I've seen them do it before. So one of the things that I like about this trap, it's not only a trap, but it's a transport cage, and it's real easy to secure. So let's get on down the road. Okay fellas, now the way you release turtles from this trap, it just has a drawstring that we're going to undo and then dump the turtle out the bottom. So what I like to do is I like to stand the trap up on end so that the turtle is already down there on the bottom. Then I'm going to loosen this drawstring and just dump him out. You can see, you have to watch your fingers. And that's it. See, now I can open that up and dump him out. Now one little trick to controlling that snapper is to put your foot on the back end of his shell to control him. Now look how far that neck can stretch. The only safe area to handle a turtle is between his hind legs. Anywhere forward of those hind legs, he can get you. You do not want to be got by one of these things. So what you want to do is you want to put your foot on him and get that tail, and then you have to hold him out from you like that. Otherwise he will get you. Now when you're handling the turtle, make sure that you don't injure his tail. That's a critical part of him. So if you're going to release a turtle, just show him a little respect and handle him gently. Now let's get him in a holding tank. Now the next step is to put him in a holding tank of some sort and give him some water. What I'll do is I just use an old Rubbermaid tub. I'm going to put one turtle in it at a time. Never put two snappers in a small tank. They will fight, they will injure each other, so you're going to have to separate them if you have more than one. Now the reason I do this, I'm going to put him in a tank. I'm going to give him some water. I'm going to make sure that he's not going to drown. So I like to have the bin tilted, and I like to have one end that's got enough water in it to make him happy, but that he can also get his head up out of the water so he doesn't drown. Every morning I'll come out and I'll check this tank, and usually the animal is going to crap in it and the water will be fouled. What I'll do then is I'll empty the water, spray it out, put him back in there. I will continue that process until I come out and the water is no longer being fouled. At that point I know the animal has cleaned out, he's emptied out, and that's when I'm going to butcher him. Now you don't have to do that. It doesn't change the taste of the meat or anything like that. All it does is it simplifies the butchering process and keeps it a little bit cleaner. You have to remember that when you're butchering turtles, it's in the hot time of the year. It can be 90, 95, 100 degrees. Butchering animals under those temperatures is never easy. It's never a clean process, and anything that I can do to make it easier and cleaner, I'm going to do, and that includes making sure that the animal is cleaned out properly. Okay, now the final step is to make sure your turtle doesn't get out. A little plastic lid is not going to keep these turtles in. you would be shocked at the strength of these snapping turtles, even a turtle this size. Now this is a folding dog crate. That thing probably weighs, I don't know, 10 or 15 pounds. That's not nearly enough weight. That turtle will push that off and he will be gone. So I use a kettlebell. I add a 35-pound kettlebell to the top, and I found that usually works. They'll push at it and push at it. They'll figure out they're not getting out, and then they'll quit trying to escape once they give up. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Make sure that you don't put him out in the bright sun. Give him a little bit of shade. Make sure he's got water. You know, show the animal a little bit of compassion, and be responsible with your catch. So we'll check back in a couple of days, and then it'll be time to butcher him, and that'll be a video in and of itself. Thanks for watching, fellas.